法様が経座にお着きになりました。
I myself, as soon as I heard this tragedy through BBC, the news, I immediately felt, how much painful experience. I immediately felt, and then, as a human brother, and secondly, Japanese, basically Buddhist. Japan is a Buddhist country. And me personally also, since I think 1967, I had opportunity to visit Japan number of occasions. So I have many Japanese friends. So I immediately felt, if possible, I would like to go there and share their sorrow, their sadness. So, my visit America through Japan, end of April, I stopped a few more days in Tokyo, and there an opportunity to pray and express my deep feeling. Still, I am not satisfied. I want to visit the actual place where this disaster took place. So now I came here. My dream fulfilled. On the way coming here, I asked driver, the tsunami water, where you see it because of it reach. Yeah. Then I noticed, you see, things completely different. And then furthermore, a lot of damage. And then particularly when I reach here, these people, I cannot stop except shake hand, meet these people. I also very much moved. Tear comes. Very sad. But it already happened. Now we have this human intelligence. Now such occasion, now we must utilize our intelligence and think broadly. And also meantime, we have also the source of self-confidence we have. So it's combination, warm-heartedness, which is source of our strength, source of self-confidence. With that, our intelligence, how to deal with difficulties, not only today, but also future. So that kind of our intelligence and the sort of self-confidence, combine these two things, you can overcome all these sort of damage or these problems. So tragedy certainly, naturally brought sadness, demoralize. But now you must that transform into self-confidence and enthusiasm, work hard, rebuild your home and your community and your new life. And then particularly these young children, taking care, maximum way, these young children, and provide them proper education, and let them lead another happy new generation. That's very, very important.
September, that is Thursday, 12th day of the 8th lunar month, and elemental combination is water and wind. So it's a bad combination which has incompatible energy to separate loved ones, and it brings disharmony. So don't believe in rumors and gossips, and cope well with your friends and relatives to prevent separation from them. This day is also inauspicious for starting a business or engage in important business assignments. From this day onwards, Sun enters the Virgo till 12th lunar day of next month. So from this day, Pumtong or empty verse will be at south direction. So important activities should not be done while facing to the south. 28th September, that is Friday, 13th day of the 8th lunar month. So this day's elemental combination is earth and earth. So it's a good elemental combination, and it has rewarding energy that fulfills the desires of an individual, and it favors the accomplishment of the task. The day is also good day. The day is also good for putting up prayer flags and wedding ceremonies, religious activities, dealing business, taking of journey for business matters, laying foundation for house, and good day to give feast to others. However, avoid parties to celebrate a newborn child and taking a newborn baby outside your house for the first time ever. And Pumdong or empty verse is at south direction, so important activities should not be done while facing to the south. 29th September, that is Saturday, 14th day of the 8th lunar month. So this day's elemental combination is earth and fire, so it's an inauspicious combination. Hence, doing of activities related to fire, such as burning, sangsul, fire rituals are not good on this day. And this day is also not a good day to wage war and going to war and starting lawsuit, selling of property, doing surgical things, and starting of business. Pumdong or empty verse is at south direction, so important activities should not be done while facing to the south.
And then amongst those followers, believers, for example, the followers of theistic religions, they would think that, of course, if I do something immoral, it is against the will of God. And therefore, they restrain themselves, refrain from committing non-virtuous actions or immorality. So all these major religions of the world teach us to be honest, to be loving and compassionate to others. And therefore, if you follow your own religion, whichever religion you're following, if you believe in it and practice them, and seems those people are happier. I have friends who are Christians, Muslims, and Jews. So I have very good, genuine practitioners of these religions who are my friends. So when you look at them, you find them to be very peaceful, calm, and even in the midst of troubles and difficulties, they are not moved so much or disturbed so much. So that shows that the religion helps them. So what is the purpose of religion? Is to give us happiness. So even Buddhism teaches us the means to reach higher rebirth, which is a temporary goal, and then ultimate goal is that of nirvana, enlightenment, and enlightenment, Buddhahood. Now, in order to obtain a higher rebirth in the next life, what we need to do is we have to use this life properly, correctly, because this life that we have now as human beings is also a higher form of life. So having this form of life, if we live our life like animals, only indulging in all kinds of emotional reactions with attachment and anger, then it's no use. So you have to make a difference between you and animals to make this life a higher rebirth. So you should not indulge in rely only on the sensory perceptions, experiences that are derived from sensory perceptions alone, but you have to try to derive experiences based on the mind. So all these pains in mind do not happen in the sensory perceptions, but it happens in the mind, the sixth sense. So what makes our mind unruly, undisciplined, and disturbed are those of attachment, hatred, and ignorance. So if you can actually use your mind to overcome these delusions, afflictive thoughts and emotions, then you'll make yourself rather better than animals. So the animals cannot use their mind much. They only rely on their sensory perceptions, more or less. And they can't make judgments using their mind. So with regard to the theistic religions, the followers of them should be, if they are compassionate and helping others, human beings, of course. And then in the next, after death, they talk about reaching heaven. So what this shows is that even their goal is happiness. So religions are meant for cultivating happiness. So with regard to happiness, there are many degrees, some immediate or temporary, and then the ultimate happiness. So since we have the wish to be happy, therefore we also have this aspiration to reach nirvana. Otherwise it cannot happen. So even animals try to avoid and be free from dangers and suffering. So because they know that suffering is not good for them, they try to avoid it or to overcome it. So this very life is also for happiness. So if there is somebody who is really unhappy and has lost all hope and very unhappy, so that's actually it's very negative to the person to shorten his or her life. And then there are people who take to drinking alcohol and drugs, and in the worst case scenario, people even go to the length of committing suicide. So we can say that this life is meant to live happily. So religion is meant for happiness, and also economic development and progress is meant for happiness. So we seek economic development, not because the money is so dear and anything like that, but because we want happiness. And so at the level of national level and on individual level, a family level, we all want happiness, and therefore we seek economic development and progress. And the material development also meant for that. So in today's world, where there is much material development and advancement, whether in community or at the level of individuals, someone may be very rich, but you can see them very unhappy. There are many people who are like that. If you have, when there is material advancements and you have lots of money, and if these could actually overcome our suffering, then this should be the case that the rich people do not have any suffering. But that's not the case at all. I have many friends who are very rich, extremely rich, but there are very unhappy people, full of worries, and they feel very lonely. Deep in their heart, they are very lonely. So even if you may be very rich, your riches cannot show you love. So since they cannot give you any love, you will not also feel love to them. So love has to come as an interaction between two beings, sentient beings who have mind. So with wealth, your love cannot actually increase. And therefore, people are only materialistic in their attitude. They also lose their love and compassion towards other beings, and other beings even appear to be their enemies, and therefore they remain lonely, and then they're very unhappy. So this is something we can see in today's world. And then amongst the scientists, neurobiologists and medical scientists, say that if you are unhappy, then it also harms your physical health. Some scientists even say that people who always lie to others, they are full of stress, and because they are lying to others all the time, it makes them feel guilty, and then this gives them stress.
Lies quite often, then usually you see there are more sort of stress.
So this is what some scientists say. So 내가 근데 천리버치게 좀 지식 송송거려. 소소 장부탕샤 인베이나 지세랑스 샤도레스 디게 아니 소소 땡죄레 샤그레스 소소 이치 안 디게 아니 소소 셈슈 선다 추브차 슝그레스 그래서디 셈게 dro다도 샤데고레스 저든시에 대비나 소소의 신앙당 수이 농케 안 디게 콘도사야 소거든 주용해 샤그레스 So, the system of mind. Yeah, so this is what he's already said. He's always read an article in which one scientist says that has written that people who lie all the time are full of stress, and people who are honest, they don't build up this stress within themselves. So this is true actually. So if you tell a lie, maybe you'll be successful and be able to deceive somebody, but then in time you will also feel guilty and will always worry whether somebody would actually know that you are lying or you have lied. And so material development and progress alone cannot give you happiness. This is very clear in today's world. Even scientifically, it's very clear that you cannot overcome suffering by taking some medicine or drugs. So the most important thing to have good health is to have peace of mind. So scientists are not talking about next life or God or anything like that, but they are talking about having a healthy body, a good health in this life. For that, peace of mind is very essential. So human beings live in as social animals, where we depend on each other, one another. So there may be amongst animals, there may be few who live very in solitude. But then, when their time for mating comes, then they come together. But usually, they don't live in herds. There are some animals who live alone. But then, there are other animals like ants or bees, honeybees, and some other animals, wild animals, like monkeys, when they live together in herds, in groups. So we human beings are also social animals because we live together in groups. So long as we have to live in a group, then the force that brings us together is mainly love or compassion, because we have to depend on one another biologically. So therefore, they live together by depending on each other. So this is sustained by love, living together in groups. So if you build up animosity and don't like each other, then the group also disperses. So those social animals, they can live together because of love. So in order to live together, we have to be able to trust one another, and for that we need honesty. And therefore, what I'm saying is that now in this world, in today's world, people are beginning to become aware that peace of mind is very crucial for society. This is what people are able to see. So how do we cultivate this peace of mind? It cannot be done by operation or surgery, not by medication, and not by brainwashing others. Because if you do that, you'll be caught at one point for telling lies. So what we need is to know, to be aware of the reality, the truth. And then by knowing the reality, then you will be able to overcome your ignorance about it and then make transformation within yourself. So in modern education system, something is lacking, something is missing. This is not my not an idea that I alone have, but many scientists and many educators are aware that the modern system of education is oriented towards material development alone, which means seeking happiness only on the basis of material things, and not using the mind to cultivate happiness, to cultivate peace of mind. And people even think that leave this to the religions alone. So there are many thinkers today who pay attention to cultivating peace of mind by using our mind itself and not relying only on material development. So therefore, in the 21st century, so we are in the beginning of the 21st century, a generation who live in this beginning of the 20th century. So if we do investigation, examination, there's hope that we could make this a different century.